Streaming now, and we're gonna wait for the YouTube channel to respond so that I don't end up hearing a whole bunch of feedback. Come on,
Okay.
YouTube channel. For the YouTube channel, there it is. Okay, perfect. Okay, so hello everyone. Welcome to Loki Hates You's Terrible Advice with Loki Hates You, presented by Nerdbot. This is, Thursday, December 15th, 2016. I'm Loki Hates You, and you are you. We already have a caller today. We've got Chris, who you may recognize from a few of the past a few of the past chats. He's always chiming in. He's always making memes. So, Chris, you want to introduce yourself?
Hey everybody, name's Chris. How's it going?
So Chris, what? Let's talk actually a little bit about. You make a lot of memes. You're a memesman. What got you into that?
Well, I used to draw a lot years ago, but basically for some reason I kind of lost interest in drawing. However, my creative side still exists. So when I heard about this me thing that's been on social media for the last few years, I thought, maybe I'll give it a shot, see how it goes. And lo and behold, I've been known as the guy who makes pretty much those Loki memes, especially the Loki for President, which was like one of my biggest hits.
I appreciate that.
So thank you for basically giving me the source material. And of course, I'm usually the guy that usually you see on the crawl that makes all these stupid questions, usually on these YouTube things once in a while. So I'm sure everyone knows who I am, sort of, kind of.
What would you say is your most kind of successful, most shared, most loved, most faved meme right now?
I have to say this one was kind of like pro wrestling related. This was like last year. Someone took a picture of a certain wrestler who kind of did like this shocked look on his face, a pay-per-view, and I kind of wrote something that says, when a certain somebody wins the title clean, and that got the most shares out of any meme that I made, and that was like a year ago.
Cool.
That was like the most successful one.
Wrestling fans are pretty excited. They love
Let's just say
wrestling.
That wrestling fans are like Comic-Con fans. They tend to get a little carried away. To
Totally.
put it mildly. Oh yeah.
So Chris, what did you want to get advised on today? I know you sent me an email that had the actual message in it, but for everyone that's watching, let us know what you're trying to get done in the next few, or in the foreseeable future.
Well, my question to you would be, how does one move out of Florida and let's say go back to New York, but as quickly as cheaply as possible? Which that's a lot to say, especially when the way things are, money wise.
It's very specific. I mean, I myself have never been in the position to live in Florida and then need to move back to New York State, correct? It's not New York City.
Yeah. Like I said, Florida's nice if you're a tourist. If you live here, well, let's just say that Disney World, it may not be worth coming here for.
Okay, so you want to get there and you're on a budget. What is it that you loved about New York that you're not getting in Florida?
Services, mostly like 24/7 transportation, housing, because I'm autistic and it's details with that. But basically, Florida were labeled as 47th in helping those who are physically or mentally disabled. But New York is in the top 10, which
Wow.
basically that's where I need to be.
Sure.
All I have to do is figure out a way to get there, survive for about 6 months because that's the time it takes to become a New York citizen again.
Right.
And then once I do become a New York citizen, that's when I'll get like the housing, transportation, job opportunities, you name it. And that, like I said, my only issue is getting there.
Now because you've got a place to crash, you've got somewhere to live once you're there, and you've got some sort of stuff that you can rely on. You just need literally the transportation.
Correct.
Okay, so let's talk about ways that we can get there that not only be cheap for you, but dare I say, cost free, if not cost beneficial for you. So, now, one of the things that I know about Florida is that there's a lot of tourism, and there's a lot of essentially housing developments that are just the exact same house laid out side by side. They're like they just like stamped out of a machine, look like the same house, and there's just like acres and acres and acres of them behind gated communities.
Correct.
So, what I know about those industries, the housing industry and the tourism industry, is that they're trying to sell residences and condos and timeshares. So, if I were you, what I would do is go to the mall, go to public places that have kiosks, fairs, anywhere that's like got a low ticket price or a no ticket price. And I want you to look for timeshare companies that are offering a free vacation, like just a weekend trip. A weekend trip if you come and take a tour of our timeshare. You go to that,
Okay.
and they're going to take you around and they're going to show you the kitchenette and the 2-bedroom situation, and they're going to show you hey, look, we got a pool out in the back, and they're probably going to have some like paid actors out there in like bikinis to entice you into buying a timeshare. And then they're going to be like, "So, Chris, what's it going to take to get you into this 2 or 3 bedroom like super expensive condo in this area of town?" And you're going to be like, "Well, it's going to take about $500,000 because I don't have the kind of money to be buying a place in Florida right now." And you got to tell them that. But once that sales pitch is done, they owe you a vacation. And that's usually a couple of days in a hotel and a round trip ticket to a certain destination. Sometimes it's Hawaii, sometimes it's Seattle, sometimes it's wherever. If you can manage to find one that has a New York option and you just get the plane ticket to New York, that's all. You just use that. You use that ticket, just the one way. Maybe stay at the hotel the day you land, and then you just like take the train into the part of town where your dad lives, and then you send a letter to that timeshare company and say, "Thanks for the free cross-country move, suckers!" Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Exclamation point! Maybe make it into a meme. And then, see what people think about that. But I think, really, that the timeshare thing is the way to go. Or, the other thing, too, is to look for a skill that's needed in New York. And you're looking to move to Long Island.
Correct.
Now, when you lived in Long Island, what's the main, like, demographic there? What are the kind of people that live in Long Island?
Well, it's kind of like your average suburban work collar neighborhood. It grown a lot. I mean, I found out they added an outlet mall, which is shocking because an outdoor mall in the middle of winter doesn't seem very pleasing. But yeah, it's very nice. It definitely has more opportunities than it did before.
Well, I'm going to tell you right now about my experience with Long Island. I went to Hofstra University for 1 year. When I graduated high school, I lived in, was it Nassau County or Suffolk County? I think it was Nassau. Anyways, Long Island is located, or Hofstra is located on Long Island. It's actually where I believe Trump did something on at Hofstra recently. I think he
Yeah,
gave his
Trump.
like acceptance speech there or something.
Yeah, he
But
does a lot of things, which we'll discuss some other time.
yeah, but here's what I saw in my time on Long Island was the massive, and this is not, I mean, I'm trying not to stereotype anyone or anything here, but like people don't really use I guess I can't use the that might not be a politically correct term, but basically, do you know what a Jersey blowout is, Chris?
Well, funny enough, that's one thing I haven't heard, but I think I'm about to find out.
Okay, so basically, on Long Island, you've got a lot of frat boys, especially around Hofstra,
Oh yeah.
and they love a certain type of haircut. And it's where you take a young, fit Italian man who's wearing like a lot of board shorts and tank tops and like really like just extravagant sunglasses and wearing a lot of gold jewelry, and you give him like a fade in the back. He's got like a fade coming up on the back and the sides, and then on top it's like a Goku-esque, just like a stack of hair like this guy right here.
Oh
So
yeah, I know. I know a few friends of mine back in the day who were like that.
yeah,
So
so like if you can imagine Johnny Bravo with black hair because he's Italian, like that is a huge commodity on Long Island. The Jersey blowout. If you ever watch an episode of The Jersey Shore, you'll see a young man named Paulie D, I believe is his name, and he's a perfect example of a Jersey blowout. And I mean, that was years ago, but I'm willing to bet it's still going strong over there. And I think that if you, in Florida, can become one of the best connoisseurs and creators of beautiful stand-up straight haircuts for men, just mastering the Jersey blowout, I think that's your ticket back to Long Island. I think they'll invite you back for their haircutting conventions, for their celebrations of Italian culture, and generally they'll just want you around to make sure that they have, as they call it, their shit lined up. So I think maybe you might want to look into, what is it, cosmetology school? I always get cosmetology and the study of stars mixed up. I think that's cosmosis, cosmology. You know what I'm talking about.
of course.
So yeah, I mean, I think that's what you should start looking into is trade schools that offer courses in extravagant Italian hairstyles, and that's how you got to mark yourself is Chrissy T. If you want to blow out, come see me. And make sure you word that correctly because people might be coming to you for the wrong thing if you're saying if you want to blow out, come see me.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, and that's as far as we'll explain it on that one.
So Chris, what do you think? You open to cutting some hair?
Well, funny enough, my family always did say they're always afraid of me having scissors in my hand. So,
Well, you got a good head of hair on you. You got a nice thick head of hair on you. So maybe you're maybe you could practice on
it's been a while
yourself.
since I had a haircut, which I could say the same about getting a shave, unfortunately. But
Hey, there are some of us that don't have anything to shave at all. I get a little bit of peach fuzz right here, and a little bit right here. I've heard Johnny Depp has the same sort of situation where he just can't. I can't grow anything right here. This whole area, there's nothing. So
some people have all the luck.
yeah, well, it certainly saves me on razor blades. So Chris, is there anything else that you might need help with today?
Well, none that I can think of. Pretty much, I want to thank you for giving me this opportunity. Uh, in fact, I want to thank you for everything. To be honest with you, you've
Hey,
always been
man.
super cool.
We're here, I'm here to help, and I'm glad you called in because this really can, I think, show people that you can call in, you can do the Google Hangout thing and be on the broadcasts and not, I'm not gonna trash anybody. I'm not gonna be mean to anybody. I'm just gonna talk about haircuts for 15 minutes, and that's like the worst. That's the worst you're gonna suffer. So,
Yeah.
all right. Well, I'm glad you called in, and thank you so much, Chris. And I mean, we're gonna start. I'm gonna say hi to everybody in the chat room and see if anybody's got any other questions. So thank you so much, Chris.
No problem, Bill. You take care, and I'll definitely see you on Facebook as always.
All right, I'll talk to you soon, Chris.
So yeah,
Peace. Hit that red button at the bottom for me.
if I can find it. Oh, okay.
There it is. All right, so guys, it's that easy to call in and to just kind of get some advice happening. Thank you so much to Chris for being a good sport and for calling in. We actually were talking for 10 minutes before we even started the broadcast. So if you're ever looking to engage in a 10-minute conversation with Loki Hates You, I guess that's kind of one of the more efficient ways to do it, is be one of our first people to email in. So let's say hi to everyone. Hi, Carol. Hi, Karen. Hey, Wraith. I want to say thank you to Wraith as well for participating in one of our previous advice sessions that happened on my channel on Loki Hates You on YouTube. Wraith was one of the first people to call in for one of the first Loki Hates You terrible advice with Loki Hates You's. So thank you for Wraith for giving me a little fuel to make a trailer for this, essentially. Hey, Selena, I believe is this the right Selena? Yeah, I think that's the Selena. Selena, yours is going to be going up soon. In the next few days and weeks, you're going to be seeing kind of highlights from one of the previous terrible advice with Loki's. So I think Selena's on there. I believe Allison's on there, and Mrs. Mojo Ryzen is probably on there as well. So, if I recall correctly. So keep an eye out for those. I'm going to try to release one with each broadcast that's coming up. But yeah, so hi Shannon, hi Roberta, hey Matthew, good to see you. Sherry, Selena, it has been a long time. We're glad to have you back. I actually, I confused somebody else with you. Another Selena. Jersey Blowout sounds like a northern version of a mullet. Yeah, it's not quite looked upon as with such nostalgic reverence, but Jersey Blowout's a real thing, I think, as long as I called it the right thing. I could be calling it the wrong thing. I'd never want to get on the broadcast. Oh, come on, Mina. Selena, you should call in anyways. And you know what? You don't have to call in. You can always write in. That's fine too. Hey, Luke. Good to see you. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys want to talk about? We've been at this for about 15 minutes now, and we've given Chris some, I think, top-notch advice. And if anybody else is looking for some sort of guidance in their life, I want to be your shining star, much like Madonna wants you to be her shining star, I think. Is it shining star or lucky star? Whatever it is, I want to be that thing for you and yours. The hair discussion reminds me of my issues with my hair. Oh, Wraith. Your hair looks great. Your hair's been every color of the rainbow as far as I know. Sherry Goodboy wants to be... Wait, what's PSA? Public service announcement? This is a public service announcement. What's some general advice? What's been on people's minds lately? Let's talk about fake news a little bit. Here's some advice for everyone. There's a lot of negativity surrounding news and how people take in their news and how people do their political beliefs and rants and how they stay outspoken. in the world, and social media is a big outlet for that. And there's been a lot of arguments about the recent presidential races and the outcomes and people's policies and what people believe in. Maybe the solution is, one, stop sharing news. Especially if the headline doesn't deliver, if the story doesn't deliver exactly what the headline promises. Exactly what the headline promises. If you watch a video and it says, the headline is, this correspondent destroys another correspondent in a debate, and you watch that video and you don't see exactly where the destruction happens, where one person is absolutely crushed by the other, and to the point where they're either crying or not talking anymore, don't post it. Like, it's so incredible to me that people with one political belief or the other, and it comes from both sides, can post things that say, like, complete, total victory from our side of the field, like, on this news channel or that news channel. And then you watch the thing and it's just like two people yelling over each other and no one gets destroyed. No one cares. Like, no one even cares. It's not even an interesting debate. It's not even about anything. It's just two people, each one calling the other one naive. And no one wins and no one loses. And it gets cut short by like a commercial break, and that's it. And beyond that, another thing not to share, even if it's not news, is a specific type of clickbait. Something that I've been really, really mad about is the fact that every single site that used to share entertaining blog articles or news or pop culture vlogs or whatever it is will have lists, and it's 10 things that every DC fan should know about Batman, let's say. And that this isn't, I mean, I'm sure that article exists, but it might not fit this description that I'm about to give. And if you're going to give me a list, I want to click on that link, I want to get to that site, and I want to see 10 items on a list, maybe accompanied by pictures, maybe not. But from the beginning of that page to the end of that page, we're going from 10 to 1. What I don't want to see, and God fucking forgive you if you're the person that shares this bullshit, you click on a list of 10 things, and you see number 10. And then there's sort of like a hidden button that says, like, click here to start a slideshow, or to see number 9, or to continue with the list, or to expand the web page. And you end up having to do like 240 different clicks through all these advertisements and all this bullshit to just like do a little recreational, relaxing reading. And I won't share it anymore. I won't read it anymore. As soon as I see that click here to continue bullshit, I close it down. And so should you. And please don't share it. And then you go, matter of fact, go back onto Facebook, find that link that you originally clicked on. I don't, like, the clickbait to me means it's something that looks interesting and then you click on it and then you get it. This isn't even clickbait. I mean, it really is, I guess it is clickbait. But God, I guess that's the difference between clickbait and viral content. I don't know. So many terms I have to learn. But, like, go find that source, and there's an option on Facebook that will let you say, hide this article, and then after you hide the article, you can click on, don't show me anything from this publisher anymore. And that, I mean, it doesn't really make a difference. They're getting millions and millions and millions of clicks anyways, but God, the internet makes it so easy for us to do things. In marketing, shitty marketing makes us add so much aggravation to the equation, and it sucks. And religion. Yeah. Tons of drama about religion and politics. Yeah, honestly, religion is even tougher because, like, you're left with arguments that are based on things, unbeliefs, and then you can't argue with it, and people get mad because they'll present facts, and other people will present their facts, and either one or both sides will not actually have facts. They'll just have these long-standing traditions or whatever, and no one ends up going for the moral route. Or they do go for the moral route, and their morality is like weirdly skewed by like this, like, oh well, this is labeled a sin by whatever, or this is labeled unclean, or this is labeled whatever, and just don't worry about it. Like, if somebody's got a different religion or no religion at all, and you have a religion that goes against theirs, just do the best you can with you. Do you, boo? Know what I'm saying? You don't gotta go and start your own war about it. You don't gotta fight someone into agreeing with you. You just gotta do. Because, like, I'm willing to bet that if you have religious arguments to make, they're based on a belief system whose main rule is to be good and nice to people. Like, to just be cool and not be a dick. So just do that. That seems like the easiest road altogether. I just up and stopped going to Facebook. My life has been less stressful. Yeah, you know, maybe Wraith's got the right idea. Maybe Facebook is really not what we need in the world right now, says the guy who's on a webcam that promotes himself through Facebook and Twitter and YouTube and Instagram. Like, it might not be making your life any better. So if you need to take a week off from Facebook, maybe that'll be the cold turkey cigarette abstinence. Cigarette abstinence. I guess you're abstaining from cigarettes. That's a correct wording. Maybe that'll be what you need. You know what I mean? It just, you don't need it. You don't need to really know what your aunt is, what dog videos your aunt is watching, what what kind of truck your old high school acquaintance thinks is the most powerful in the world. Everything's an ad now, and that's fine, because honestly there's a lot of things we want to buy and we want to be sold. So great, like, put the ads in front of me and maybe I'll buy something I needed. But, like, there's actually so little social media in social media now that it's hard to really even dig through and find something that has any. I woke up one day and it was a bunch of people asking basically survey questions. It was basically people saying, I need advice, or I need a good barber to go to. Does anyone have a good fabric store I can get fabric at? And I thought that was great, because that was real interactions between people. And even though it was kind of based still on buying commercial goods, it was at least real people asking and real people answering. And I think that's, I think that's great. So, it looks like we don't have any more advice to give today. I've got no emails coming in, so we may call this a half-hour block and just let that happen. But I appreciate that everyone is here. I appreciate that we've got our old favorites tuning in. My boss doesn't speak English, and every single day I have to cover for her without even knowing what the issue is about. Ruins my day every single time. Karen, is this something that we should talk about, or is this my boss doesn't speak English, and every single day I have to cover for her without even knowing what the issue is about? What kind of Karen, do you want to get into this right now? Do you want to talk about what you're talking about right now? Because I will fight you. And by fight you, I mean we will have a conversation that may go on for another half an hour. Let me move this up a little bit. There you go. So Karen, let's what's up with the email? I tried to send something, but it came back. Huh. Shannon, let me let me, loki.surely.hates.you@gmail.com. Let's see if that even goes through. No good internet connection. Well, Karen, we can still talk about it. I could actually even call you on the phone, Karen, but we'd have to figure out a different way to send me that phone number. So if your boss doesn't speak English, here, I'll type to you in real time. What is your job title? Otherwise, we end up with like a 30-second delay. And then, you know, that's no fun. And what is your boss's job title? This is how it goes. We wait for responses from Karen and her terrible internet connection. And you're an administrative assistant, technician, sales, customer service. Okay. Do you sell? We got to gather information. This is a classic advice formatting tutorial. Let's take it as that. So here's advice on how to give advice. You got to gather your information. You got to get all the facts in line before you can say, hey, here's what you got to do. And when you use an informed library of information to pull from, it doesn't matter if the advice is any good or not. You sell, oh, okay, software server infrastructure. That's extremely technical. Okay. So you get put in a position to deal with clients who have problems that you don't know anything about. Yeah, if you've got a boss who's essentially just going to leave you with their workload, you're put in an interesting position where you can hurt them. Because if you're doing their job and you do a bad job, they're still accountable for that. Now, they could probably fire you if you do a bad job on purpose. But they're still accountable for it. And if you want to go down that road, I mean, we can burn this motherfucker down, honestly. I think what we can do is set up an elaborate plan where I become, not I, but someone you know, a mole, plant, a MacGuffin, if you will, becomes a customer of your company, and they, she promises things to customers, and then sends them to me. I have to solve the problems, and don't even know the basics of the problem. Well, this is great. This is great. Okay. So what you got to do is like an undercover boss thing. What you want to do is talk to the person who's, does she have bosses? Okay, let's phrase it that way. Okay. So, undercover boss. It's a great premise. You gotta go over that boss's head and get in touch with the even higher boss. But don't be like, oh, hey, we got a problem. Just be like, hey, overboss, listen, I need to do some audits, and if you could create a fake customer profile for me, I need to make sure that I can place an order correctly. And then you can take that. Oh my god, don't leave your job, Karen. You gotta win this fight. You gotta get this done. Okay, so. Create a fake customer profile and start dealing with your boss personally. Be a dissatisfied customer at every turn. Have a problem with this, have a problem with the service, have a problem with the pricing, have a problem with the way it's being shipped, have a problem with all of it. The name of the company, tell them you won't deal with this company unless they change their logo. But make sure you're also dangling like a real big purchase on that string. And then you log everything. You log all the conversations. You get that boss to promise you something. Is this corporate espionage? Probably. Don't worry about it. The point is that you're a motivated individual who loves working and who wants to be on top, and you're willing to do anything necessary to get there. So you take all that information and you look for just tiny cracks in the armor. If they've promised anything that gives you hints as to where the company's going, maybe that's insider trading. These broadcasts are how I deal with stress. Well, you got to set this up just right. Put all the dominoes in place. Now, your boss obviously has a safe, like, full of jewelry and cash that she's been, like, extorting and laundering from the company. And what you got to do is, by way of this fake customer who's dangling this enormous account, this enormous order in front of your boss, you got to get in on that money and be like, hey, you've really screwed me over. You've promised me things. You've made me wait for things. I'm a big time customer. I'm a big player in this world, and you're gonna have to offer me something, or else I'm gonna tell the world with my big customer pull that this is the worst company ever made, and I'm gonna get on Twitter and start talking about that and put all my receipts and everything on there. Now, you're doing this from inside the office. The call is coming from inside the house, like, for sure. And then that's when your boss starts saying, like, hey, listen, I got this safe full of blood money and stolen jewelry and, like, priceless ancient artifacts. I've got, like, Hitler's baby teeth in this safe, and I'm gonna cut you in on this thing. I'll give you, like, half of everything in this box if you just keep your account with this company. And that is when you get your boss to send this fake customer just extremely illegal goods and money. Just all of the money. And you take pictures of that stuff and you're like, oh my god, look, it's the original Mona Lisa. This person has been, like, holding out on the world. She's actually, like, an art. She had, like, she was the second gunner on the grassy knoll. And that's it. You just drop that on Anonymous, and then, it goes viral. Somebody makes it into clickbait, and you get yourself a big paycheck because now you're in possession of, like, the original Mona Lisa. You can sell it to some eccentric French art collector, and you're golden from there. I mean, that's the rest of your life. Also, you get to take over the company because you're next in line. You know all the job responsibilities of your boss because you've been put in such a shitty situation so much, and you just take it all to the bank and watch her go to prison, and her life is ruined and yours is way better. Sorry, that's the way the cookie crumbles, boss lady. you learn a valuable lesson from when you hand off your work to your employees. You're done. For totally different reasons, though, my boss wants to perform federal crimes. Yeah, Shannon, for serious? Like, keep a log. Take some of that stuff home with you. Go to a lawyer. Get your money. Like, tell a potential candidate that we do not have applications due to the person's color. Shannon, be the whistleblower. Like, there's federal laws that protect you in that case, assuming you're inside the United States. Goodbye, Selena. We'll talk to you later. Customers are satisfied with my service, but I'm so mad at her. I feel like cannon fodder. Karen, I mean, really, the solution is just be applying to jobs every day after work. Like, having a shitty job that you hate is not a good position to be in. And you shouldn't. Like, it's funny because, like, we spend so much time talking today in the political climate about, like, the job market and stuff. And the truth is that, like, awesome jobs get filled by nepotism, and shitty jobs are possible to keep, but only with the sacrifice of your morality and your dignity and your financial independence. Like, if this job's not making you happy, take all the experience, put it on a resume, and get the hell out of there. It's awful. I've worked at some shitty jobs myself, and I hated it. The job I hated the most was the job I got fired from. And I think that's, that's sort of the balance of the universe coming back. It's like a humiliating way to go, because I didn't like doing the job because I was no good at it. And I got fired because I was no good at it. So it's just the way it had to go. Whereas the jobs that I like, I managed to keep. And I managed to do usually pretty well at and be at least fairly well liked. But, yeah, get the hell out of there. That's not worth your time. Just showed up and I'm sitting here like 8-month-old staring over my shoulder. Christina, please keep in mind this is not a broadcast for children. I've had people come in and complain that, like, it's my responsibility to entertain your children, and I will oftentimes use foul language, and I will oftentimes refer to extremely adult material. It is on the parents of children to police their behavior so that their children are not exposed to my language. I don't think there is any iteration of my social presence in which I am a totally clean and nice person. So please, if you have an 8-month-old staring over your shoulder who you think might pick up on language, I don't know when language starts on a kid, just maybe turn on some Sesame Street. They might like that one a little bit better. Whew. You know what, though? It's funny to hear people talk about illegal things happening at their job, because I think everyone has illegal things happening where they work. I don't think ethics are taken into consideration in business anymore. And almost everyone who works in any position of any business can say, like, oh yeah, my boss totally, like, dips into the cash register, or I get sent out to do things that I know are not legitimate business transactions, but I do it anyways because it's the only way for me to keep my job. Or I know these two people who shouldn't be doing this are doing this. And everyone just puts up with it because they want to get their paycheck at the end of the day. So it's unfortunate, but, like, maybe we're not being as active as we can in making sure that businesses are obeying ethical standards. Karen, I hope that one day you can actually call in and we can talk about this a little more in depth, because, obviously your boss isn't some sort of supervillain genius money hoarding monster. But like, you know, you shouldn't be working above your pay level for the same amount of pay that you always get. You should be getting compensated for doing your boss's work, and you're not, and that's bullshit. But then again, you're probably in a position where if you say no, or if you don't do what's asked of you, you get shit canned, and that's awful. That's terrible. Man, everything is crazy. And guys, that's why we're doing a satirical advice column here. I've actually gotten way too serious. This should never have gotten as serious as it is. So, you know, go to your job, find the job that you can be happiest at. Find the job that's hopefully for a small business where you know the people you're working for, you trust the people you're working for. They compensate you accordingly. And you don't have to break your back for nothing, and you don't have to watch someone else make a lot more money off of your hard work, because that's, you know, not fair. And it's not a valuable use of your time. You're just as capable as anybody else. That's some real advice, is that anything the other guy can do, anything your boss can do, obviously you can do. Anything your local politician can do, you can do it. You just got to put in the time. And that's the hardest part of all, is that it really does ruin your life to put in time. If you want to pick a path, there's only so many paths you can walk down while still maintaining a healthy grasp on your health and your general livelihood, I guess. So choose your path wisely. Oh, we've gotten on such a weird, serious political tangent. But I'm glad you guys are here. And that's why we can manage to get off on this stuff. So guys, I think that's going to be about it. Looks like we got about 45 minutes in. Next week, your homework on Monday for the 6 p.m. broadcast. Write me emails throughout the week. If there's ever anything that you encounter that you have trouble with, that you don't like in your life, that you wish you could change, just write it to that email. The email is always there, loki.shurley.hates.you@gmail.com. Put advice in the title. If you want to do a live video chat, we'll do it Monday at 6. Or Thursday at noon. Whatever you want. And we'll make it a little more lighthearted. Please don't send me things like, I murdered my husband and now he's dead and it smells really bad in here because I don't have a yard and I can't bury him, and I don't have access to industrial chemicals to melt his body in a bathtub or anything like that. Just keep it light. Real light and breezy. Everybody, have a good night. I'm going to go get ready for the Nerdbot Spinema Rogue One premiere tonight at Dave & Buster's at the Arcadia Westfield Mall. If you're in Southern California, I hope you'll join us. I hope Rogue One ends up being a great movie, despite what the douchebag from the New Yorker said about it. And I hope you guys enjoy your everything. Your job, your life, your husbands and wives. You know what I'm talking about. You can enjoy that thing. All right, guys. Talk to you soon. Miss you. Love you. Bye.